Now, what in the carnival is going on here? So it appears that the cruise gods have decided to bless us with a sacrifice. A group of poor devils, pier runners, or passengers, whatever you prefer, that decided to make the ultimate gamble and show up late to get back on the cruise ship over at the cruise port in Cozumel, Mexico. The most dangerous cruise port of all, and not because of potential bodily harm that could come to you. Well, depends on how much you drink. Anyway, the anticipation is absolutely killing me. I got a video clip that I want to show all of you, and then we'll talk about the details and little giblets after, because believe it or not, there are actual humans out there that believe that this type of behavior is okay, or they think that somebody mocking this or getting entertainment value out of it is wrong.
The carnival workers should start running back to the ship.
The carnival, yeah, they should. They should. They done blew the horn. Come on. Woo! Run, Forrest, run! With a stroller too? Run! Woo! Don't stop!
You gotta go in the back.
They put him on the back! Woo!
These people are ridiculous. Do they do that intentionally?
They done blew the horn. Come on. That's right, Gertrude. You are 100% correct. We heard that first horn, which means that everyone should have been back on board the cruise ship at the approximate time that was set forth over in that specific port, which happens to be Cozumel, Mexico, the most dangerous cruise port of all time for cruise ship passengers. Once again, like I said, not because you have to worry about some type of crime taking place, because there's virtually zero crime over in Cozumel, Mexico, but you do have to worry about all the drinking. People love going to their Mr. Sancho's over there and, well, just having a great day and forgetting about the time. Now, in this video, I am going to break down what happens when you potentially are late for the cruise ship and when you miss the cruise ship. It's never a good thing. However, before we get started, I do have to address the cruise ship in the room, because this situation in particular over in Cozumel, Mexico, with these passengers on board the Carnival celebration happened approximately 3 days ago around April 19th. You have a lot of people that say that whenever situations like this happen, be it an unfortunate one, but also comical, a lot of people say that these people should not be mocked, they should not be laughed at, there shouldn't be jokes made. However, personally for me, I say whenever we see something like this, it's all fair game. The reason one may be opposed to any kind of jokes or mockery when a pier running situation is taking place is for the simple fact that some out there believe that we don't know exactly what happened to put those poor unfortunate souls in that actual predicament to where they're late to the cruise ship. They believe that it could be a potential emergency. However, I beg to differ. I have seen pier runner many a time when I was working on cruise ships, and for me that sails almost every other week at this point. I see people late to the cruise ship all the time, and I want to say 99.9% of the time it's because those passengers did not keep track of time. They were late to the cruise ship and, well, they have a situation now. It's very rarely where we have a situation where it's like an emergency, and should such event occur in any of the cruise ports while they're enjoying their margaritas or excursions, then they should contact the proper authorities. In most cases, the passengers do. That way, the authorities over there that they're dealing with in the port can contact the authorities that are actually at the port as well as the cruise line, and they can make the proper accommodations for the cruise ship to wait, or they actually have some emergency assistance actually bring those passengers back to the cruise ship on time. If you are a seasoned cruiser, then you know that the most victims are claimed in two ports over in the Caribbean, Cozumel and Nassau, Bahamas. This situation took place in Cozumel, and if I'm correct, Gabby, is that you over there giving piggyback rides to the passengers that showed up late? I have a friend of mine that is a part of the fun squad on the Carnival celebration. Good friend of mine. You guys may remember I put some vlogs out on my other channel, Jay the Nomad. Make sure you go subscribe to that one. And we had a great time, but it looks like her and some others of the fun squad are waiting for those passengers, which, on all fairness, does indicate that the ship was not about to technically leave and sail away. It means that whatever time they had to be back on board the ship, they are either right at that time or maybe they are just a little bit past it. But nevertheless, it's still not okay. Nobody cares if you're staying in a Spa Cove cabin, a Havana suite, presidential suite, or if you're a high-ranking member in the very important fun person loyalty program with Carnival. And when it comes to other lines, nobody cares how loyal to Royal you are. And we also don't care if you are a celebrity. By the way, guys, I just got off the Celebrity Beyond, a very thorough, in-depth review. I just put it up yesterday. Make sure you go check it out. I'll put it right up here and in the description box below. My point is here, no matter your status, the cruise ship will leave you. Some of you may not like to hear it or want to hear it, but you are not special. There are people out there that believe that because they are in one of the nicer rooms on board any specific ship, that the cruise ship will wait for them. Or they'll use that golden rule that, oh, well, I booked an excursion through the cruise line, they'll wait for me in that particular situation should a problem arise. Well, that part is true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. However, you can honestly join any other excursion, and they're pretty good over at the port. If you don't book with the cruise line directly, they'll make sure you actually come back on time. That's a myth that everybody seems to run with while they want to pay 2 to 3 times more the price than they would if they were over in port. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. My point is, when it comes to these types of situations, this should be taken very seriously. And I do believe that anybody that is late for the cruise ship or misses the cruise ship without there being an actual emergency, it's pretty immature of you to not just simply keep track with time. I always say, guys, you should double, quadruple, triple, however you want to look at it, check and make sure the time in which you have to be back on board the cruise ship. The cruise line specifically tells you to be back on board by ship time, not land time. Otherwise, you're going to watch the cruise ship sail away without you off into the sunset, which obviously is not good and something you want to deal with. However, should such a situation occur, well, first of all, if you're late to the cruise ship, if you do make it back on time to get on board, no harm will come to you, unless you're a crew member, of course. If you do that, you do risk, as a crew member, getting your privileges revoked and eventually being fired if you keep it up. I had a situation once when I was in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, when I was working on board the Norwegian Escape with my friend Lisa, and well, we were late one time. I had to leave her to get eaten up by dogs. I ran as fast as I could over to the ship, and well, we got a warning. Both of us ended up showing up late, regardless of me running like Forrest Gump. Let's say for whatever reason, be it your own fault or an actual emergency, you end up getting left by the cruise ship. First of all, let's hope that you have your passport. Everyone, please remember, when you go out in a port of call, just take your passport with you. I know some people are worried about losing it. Just get like either a satchel or something to kind of hold it, because you don't want to be left without it should you end up missing the cruise ship or having an emergency situation where you're going to the hospital and you have to stay in a specific port or island. And let's say, for example, you do have it. Well, you're going to be in good shape, kind of. The first person you're going to come in contact with, if you are over at the port, is a port agent. From there, they will direct you over to the embassy, and then they'll negotiate how we're going to get you either home or over to the next port of call. If you have insurance, it may cover a situation such as that. If you don't, then unfortunately, you are going to have to fit the bill and fly over to wherever the next port of call is for the cruise ship, or you can just call it quits and head back home or to the home port so you can get all of your belongings whenever the cruise ship gets back over to that area in which you originally sailed out of. Either way, it's just not a good situation. Moral of the story here, we have some key notes to remember. First of all, double check, triple check your all aboard time so that you know when you have to be back on the ship and you know you're not getting confused with potential ship time versus the actual land time. Also, just don't show up to the cruise ship late. For me, whenever I'm in port, I always give myself an 1.5 to 2 hour window to at least be somewhere near where I can either see the cruise ship or I can get to it easily without any complications, be it a taxi ride or something of that nature. Because you don't want to be too far away. Let's say you were in a car. I like to go to Cozumel a lot of times, rent a Jeep and drive to the other side of the island. I just make sure that should anything happen, like the car break down or whatever, I have a nice window allotted for myself should anything happen. And I will say, guys, I am also one of those people that will laugh if I see somebody late to the cruise ship, a pier runner of any kind. If it ever happens to me, I will let all of you know, and I will tell you guys straight up, the people that see me running to the cruise ship like a crazy person, a chicken with my head cut off, you can make as much jokes as you want till the end of time, because more than likely, I deserved it. That's all I got for this video, guys. Of course, let me know your thoughts on this situation in the comment section below. Do you think it's justified if you see a peer runner to go ahead and make some jokes and laugh? I do want to hear all of your input. I appreciate all of you guys. Go check out my other channel. Check out my latest video on the Celebrity Beyond. And know, as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.